Make the Christmas catch you in a good mood. Although more than a month away, I have already caught the Christmas spirit. With a slight drop in temperature, there is just something about this season that just made me feel good. And on today's Jamaica Magazine, I want to share that joyful feeling with you. Coming up, marrying technology with crime fighting to create a safer Jamaica. Plus, how the JUTC is helping visually impaired passengers. There's also the liquor Saturday soup and much more. I'm Audrey Williams. Stay tuned.
Mommy?
Yes, sweetie?
How can I change my world?
You can change your world
by being polite.
Good morning.
Good morning. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Miss.
With just one action.
We can change the world with acts of random kindness.
Stay kind, act kind, be kind.
You know what made you hear I wonder? Several things actually. Like, what sound your glad bag make when it busts? If I open this said glad bag, what would I find? Balloons, streamers, confetti? Not only that, but where exactly is this glad bag located? When the glad bag busts, it simply means that we are extremely happy, and interestingly, with this piece of unseen organ, even after it rupture, it self-services, repairs automatically, and there's absolutely no surgery needed. So for sure, you're assured that your glad bag will bust another day.
I'm sure my neighbors hear the screams and cries.
I'm sure by now they've seen the bruises through my oversized glasses.
Can they tell I'm depressed when we speak?
Are they counting my frequent days off from work?
Domestic violence is any pattern of behavior used by an individual to maintain control or power over another. Domestic violence is not just physical, it can also be verbal. If you're in a relationship where you are being abused or know of anyone, get out and speak up. Report domestic violence by calling 119 or the nearest police station. Get out before someone puts you out.
One thing that certainly sends glad bags erupting is receiving the perfect gift. But before we get to the gift giving and receiving, there has to be some amount of shopping. When you're out and about, please do it safely. We'll give you a little safety tip later, but for now, take a look at how the Jamaica Social Investment Fund is upgrading an innovative tool that is helping to keep Jamaicans safe. The Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, is helping to build safer communities through the Jamaica Crime Observatory Enhancement Project. Established in 2011, the Jamaica Crime Observatory is a web-based crime and violence data bank hosted by the Ministry of National Security.
The project is seeking to enhance the capacity of the Ministry of National Security, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and a number of other stakeholders in their response to data collection, data entry, data dissemination, and data analysis. This is a World Bank funded initiative. It is valued at 44 million Jamaican dollars.
The upgrade to the system falls under JSIF's Integrated Community Development Project (ICDP). The aim of the ICDP is to improve basic infrastructure and social services delivered to 18 targeted at-risk communities. JSIF seeks to use data from the Crime Observatory to inform the planning of social and technical interventions to be implemented in these communities.
To ensure a concerted approach towards crime prevention and management, a number of government entities supply statistics to the Crime Observatory. These include the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Ministry of Health, the Registrar General's Department, and the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine.
We collect data from murder statistics to sexual offenses, suicide, traffic fatalities, hospital data, fatal shootings for various parishes in Jamaica.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, is the primary source of data for the observatory. Under the project, the Statistics and Information Management Unit of the JCF has received handheld GPS devices to assist in increasing the accuracy of data collected.
From the perspective of the crime scene, the forensic crime scene analysts utilize the handheld devices provided by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund to map the exact location of each crime. The devices are also able to take photographs of the environment within which the crime occurs. With that information, the analysts are able to get a better context within which the crime occurs. And that has been very significant in our analysis process.
In addition, the gadget also assists us to be able to do analysis, temporal analysis of the time crime takes place. If you plot those information on a graph, you can see over a period of time, you can be able to determine trend, so you can do trend analysis.
As part of the JCF funding, the unit also received laptops, desktop computers, firewall devices, servers, UPS devices, and software packages to improve the efficiency of processing the data collected.
It allows us to provide data to the Crime Observatory in a much faster turnaround time than the monthly cycle that we usually provide the data to the Crime Observatory.
Additionally, 2 data entry clerks have been employed by the unit to assist with the timely input of information into the system. The Ministry of National Security will also receive funding to engage the services of a crime analyst.
What the engagement of the crime analyst will do is that they will help with better forecasting and predicting utilizing data which is in the Crime Observatory.
The project, which started in 2017, will also fund the training of 7 Ministry of National Security staff and 8 persons from the Jamaica Constabulary Force in the areas of system maintenance, spatial analysis, and the use of ArcGIS software technology. Improvements to the Jamaica Crime Observatory are essential to various stakeholders in the formulation of policies and strategies to keep Jamaicans safe.
What the Crime Observatory is able to do is provide us with good, timely, accurate data for us able to craft our policies, and from crafting our policies we're able to then craft acceptable strategies to help with the crime and violence and citizen security.
With geographic information system, we can actually pinpoint the exact location of a crime. We can pinpoint the area, such as a shop or a bar, that is likely to be affected by a particular type of crime, which means that we can practice preventative policing. We can actually preempt what is likely to take place, put in strategy in order to prevent those occurrences.
Through the Jamaica Crime Observatory Enhancement Project, the Jamaica Social Investment Fund is enhancing the efficient collection and analysis of crime and violence statistics, building on the capacity of the government to better plan crime-fighting strategies.
Always be aware of your surroundings. That way, if there is danger, you can spot it early and take the necessary actions to guarantee your safety.
Life is all about making decisions, choosing from a number of options to do a particular thing, which may result in a specific outcome.
It can be difficult, but there are 4 things you can do to help make that decision.
Stop. Check out what's happening and remind yourself to think before acting.
Think. Make sure you're aware of the choices, all the advantages and disadvantages. Then think about the consequences.
Act. Choose the best option and do something about it.
Review.
Finally, review what you have done and determine if it was good or bad. That way, you'll be in a better position to make the next decision, whether big or simple.
It can be difficult making your way through this world sometimes. You can get lost, fall in holes, buck your toe, even when you can see where you're going. Can you imagine how hard it must be for those who are visually impaired? The JUTC has seen this challenge and has taken steps to help these individuals get around. Listen up.
From the fingers of political activist Helen Keller came this oft-repeated statement: "The worst thing is to be born sighted but lack vision." Among our people are many whose sight is impaired, making it more challenging to navigate the roads of forever changing national space. Over a decade ago, the state-owned bus company had the vision to recognize their need for a public transport system that is accommodating of all Jamaicans.
I lose my sight. It's going from 89, but totally blind, 2004. 89 when I check my sight, 5% in the left eye and 95 in the right eye. Everything goes 2004. Well, 2004, I was fretting on it. I hear about Society for the Blind, and Mrs. Wallace, who do the training, who train us to take the bus, train us to go to transport center, walk on the road, walk between light posts, walk on the sidewalk. I prefer to take the JUTC. When I take the bus to the transport center, boy, the customer service is very nice. They ask you where you're going and then take you downstairs or upstairs and then put you on a seat to sit down. Sometimes they wait on you till the bus comes and put you inside the bus and tell the driver, where to let you off.
Since 2005, the JUTC began offering a disabled service, and we did so recognizing that there are other forms of transportation service or operators who do not provide a similar service to members of the disabled community. We recognize that they are an important part of the traveling community, and it is in fact incumbent on us, being a government-run entity, to provide such a service for those who may not otherwise be able to access private transportation services. Over the course of that period, we have also imported several units, several specially designed buses for persons with varying degrees of disability. We have a cadre of customer service representatives who have been introduced to a wide range of customer service related responsibilities and functions. In fact, 10 to 12 of them who are rostered weekly to provide critical care to members of the disabled community. Our customer service agents take them to and from the buses, and of course anywhere within the location of the Halfway Tree Transport Center. They also provide sanitary support for them.
I lost my sight last year, February. Taking the transport, sometimes I'm feeling excited. Sometimes, not all times. Because taking the transport, I can miss my steps. When crossing the road, sometimes I'm feeling down. Nervous, like can't wait to get over it. I can cross in the road, anything can hit me. So those things will run in my intention. Yeah, and hole can be there. And even though the kid will drop in the hole sometime, you can still do wrong things and drop same way. So there's something always come up in my thought at all times. Crossing the road, taking the vehicle. Sometimes tears come at my eyes because the way how the person react, people will see me. Some of them will say, you're not blind. And you act like you're blind because your eyes don't look like you're blind.
Part of the training involves engaging the Disabilities Foundation to see how it is that we ought to care for members of the disabled community. So for example, there is in fact a particular standard and protocol in which persons who are blind, for example, ought to be carried around.
One day I was at the bus stop. I took a bus 46 from downtown, and I asked tell the driver, I said, I'm going at Union Square Jug Serve. It was a woman driver, and believe you me, when the lady reached Jug Serve, she tapped the bus on the left side there and come out of the driver's seat and take me across the road right to the Jug Serve. I was so pleased, man. You have some nice driver.
The visually impaired individual is firstly someone with basic human rights, those shared by every other Jamaican. And while a disability-friendly transport system may not be on the list of basic human rights, as the JUTC recognizes, it is a critical part of ensuring that Jamaica is truly a place where everyone of every ability can live, work, raise families, and do business.
The Ministry of Science and Technology, the National Commission on Science and Technology, and the Scientific Research Council on November 21 celebrate the men and women at the forefront of scientific innovation at the Biennial Awards ceremony. These remarkable nominees have excelled in the fields of agriculture, food and agro-processing, education and popularization, engineering and manufacturing, energy, entertainment product, environmental sustainability, health and safety, and youth innovators, all in an effort to promote national growth. The National Innovation Awards 2018, celebrating excellence in science, technology, and innovation. Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. Jamaica's capacity to secure its borders was strengthened this week with the acquisition of a new surveillance aircraft, 2 helicopters, and a new hangar for use by the Jamaica Defense Force.
What we're doing here today is ensuring that we make an investment in securing our borders, increasing our domain awareness, not just because it sounds great, but because it will have a practical effect for the man on the street in Jamaica. You will see crime going down in your communities as a result of this investment.
The management of Flow Jamaica has agreed to seek an adjournment of its court action against the National Works Agency and contractors working on government's road network legacy projects. The decision follows a meeting with Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Thursday. In the meantime, the National Works Agency says construction of the 3 miles bypass is set for completion in 2 weeks' time.
We are just about complete with the sub-base and the base works, and the curb and sidewalk installation along Chesterfield Drive itself. We're about 90% complete with those. We are scheduled to begin pavement works in the upcoming weeks.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness told Parliament this week that government has allocated approximately $997 million to carry out another phase of its national mitigation program ahead of the Christmas holiday. Also in Parliament this week, additional amendments to the road traffic bill were passed. It establishes increased penalties for driving without motor vehicle insurance coverage or a driver's license, as well as failure to obey the traffic light or comply with traffic signs, loud noises within silence zones, not wearing a protective helmet, and failure to stop at pedestrian crossings. This week also saw government committing to assist with the funeral expenses for 3 John Rawlings Success Primary School students who were killed in a motor vehicle crash on Tuesday, which also claimed the life of the driver of the vehicle in which they were traveling. Ahead of a visit to the school, the Education Minister appealed for discipline on the roads.
We have precious lives, our own lives and the lives of children and other persons that we are carrying. If we all be very disciplined, we organize ourselves properly so we don't have to be speeding, so we manage our time, so we start out early so we can get to our destinations on a timely basis. I think that will help. And we're going to appeal to the police to be out there as they have been doing. And again, condolences to the families, to the student body, and all the friends and relatives of the deceased.
The Cornwall Regional Hospital will soon have the capacity to accommodate 237 inpatient care after receiving 44 new beds and promised another 36 by the end of this month.
That 237 beds distributed to different areas of specialization, but essentially will ease a lot of the burden that we have had to encounter and deal with as it relates to people waiting to be admitted.
A National Action Plan on Antimicrobial Resistance, AMR, has been drafted for Jamaica. Antimicrobial resistance occurs when microorganisms, such as bacteria and viruses, change in ways that render the medications used to cure the infections they cause ineffective.
The draft National Plan on AMR is now being considered by stakeholders, including the Ministry of Health and including this ministry where we're at now, MICAF.
4 females under the first phase of the Women's Entrepreneurship Support Project have received grant funding of $250,000 each to enhance their businesses.
Funding that you will get today is not just for you to run your business on your own, but for you to get the necessary capacity building through the JBDC in using those funds effectively.
We hope to gradually expand this initiative in the coming years, bringing more women entrepreneurs into the fold.
And finally, the government has upgraded and reopened the licensed beach in eastern St. Thomas, providing amenities including 5 gazebos, a footbridge, sanitary conveniences, parking area, lifeguard stands, guardhouse, and seating areas.
This investment is first for the residents who live here, the people of license and St. Thomas. And then, of course, it will serve all of us, not just in the parish.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
How much do you know about the Financial Investigative Division of the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service? Not much? Watch this.
Hello and welcome to Finance Matters, a production of the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. I am your host, Daniel Pasley, and today we'll be focusing on the Financial Investigations Division. And here to speak to us about that division within the Ministry of Finance is Chief Technical Director of the FID, Mr. Robin Sykes. Thank you so much, Mr. Sykes, for coming on the program.
I'm very, very happy to be here.
Now, when we speak about the FID, what is its role?
Okay, the FID carries out a multitude of roles, but I think it can best be described as we seek to use the tools available to us under the Proceeds of Crimes Act and other legislation to A, gather intelligence, financial intelligence on persons who may be committing certain financial offenses, including money laundering. B, investigating those offenses and determining whether cases can be brought. And then using the special tools to bring applications to court, mainly in relation to asset recovery. And then finally, once those assets are recovered, another function is the management and disposal of those assets. So what we are seeking to do in a nutshell is really take the profit out of crime. So pursuing financial crime and getting the assets.
But I'm sure that there must be some collaboration with law enforcement, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We work very closely with the JCF, the Constabulary Force. We have 20 police officers who are actually stationed with us, and they carry out a lot of the criminal investigations. They are supported by our forensic examiners who carry out the financial analysis necessary to put banking records together to determine on A, whether criminal activity has taken place, and B, asset recovery. And then, of course, we have partnerships with wider law enforcement, major organized crime agency, for example, the Corruption Prevention Commission and the other agencies relating to corruption. So we have our working relationship with those domestic partners. And then finally, of course, overseas domestic partners such as the FBI, DHS, ICE, the Canadian authorities, as well as those from the UK.
So there is an efficient machinery working behind the scenes to ensure that, justice is served.
Well, it is a difficult task because we have a number of different matters that come up. I mean, persons rely on our services in different ways. So, for example, the police may want intelligence products from us. The banking sector needs guidance on how they fulfill their obligations under proceeds of crime. We are also responsible for some policy development in terms of the anti-money laundering framework, which is not just limited to law enforcement, but extends to a lot of areas such as terrorism, financing, and the role of charities. There's a lot of areas that we have tried to keep in the air in terms of juggling our responsibilities. And the bottom line is that we're trying to strengthen the framework, whether it's through the investigation and prosecution or in the policy development and changes to laws that are necessary.
So as it relates to the legislative framework, could you describe that a little bit more?
Sure. Our main tool in trade is the Proceeds of Crimes Act, which is the one that allows us to gather the financial intelligence from our financial institutions through their suspicious reporting obligations. It also gives us the powers for the investigative powers. So, for example, we can get production orders, we can get search warrants, we can get customer information orders from financial institutions. And this is what we use to gather our evidence. Then we can make certain applications to the court. We can make applications for post-conviction forfeiture. So if you are convicted of an offense and that offense is deemed to be one that is related to a criminal lifestyle, then we can recover assets from you based on the court's assessment of the benefit that you got on activity.
CTD Sykes, I am sure that our viewers learned quite a bit about the role of the FID. I thank our special guest, CTD Sykes, CTD Robin Sykes of the FID, and I thank you for watching.
Already my time with you has run out, but where my journey ends, yours can continue. Thanks to the World Wide Web, you can visit our YouTube page or the JIS website to watch all editions of Jamaica Magazine. You can also keep up with us on all the major social media platforms. I'm Audrey Williams. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information